It's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here.
Short break. If you can still hear my voice, that it means you're rightly tuned into the frequency meter of Unity 93.3 FM and TV. And of course, it is still that your most anticipated political and socio-economic program on the radio, the Unity. Before we went on that very short break, we were having an in-depth conversation as to certain issues that concerns our national, especially as they are found on the newspapers today. And one area of interest that we were talking about is the ACF, the Arewa Consultative Forum. They had something to say on the dailies this morning, and they were saying they are going to support the northern interest come 2027. But then the analysts in the house had a lot to say about the ACF, and we're just going to go back to that very conversation. So, if I remember very, very well, yes, from the last election, the election that brought in Tinubu,
yes,
the AC have made certain comments that are in favor of Tinubu, showing that they trust this very candidate, exactly, that he is going to push for the interest of the North. And went extra mile to see that that is made a reality, even as it is today. But today, again, they are back saying the policies of Tinubu is anti-North. And knowing that ACF is an organization that is fully out to represent and push for the cause and the interest of the North as it is written.
Indeed.
Because what is written is not necessarily what is implemented.
Indeed.
And so by implementation, we have come to the conclusion from observation on all indication that the ACF have not really made impact positively when it comes to the northern the interest of the North. And so you were saying something before we went on that very, very shortly.
Yes, sir. I was trying to raise posers because when a set of people speak, yeah, you are at liberty to listen to them. They are also at liberty to talk. But you are at liberty to pick holes and then try to make the connections. When there's a discrepancy between what somebody says and what he does, then of course you're supposed to raise issues out of that. I tell you, within the 8 years that Buhari was there and fully supported by the ACF, within that period, there were a lot of wrongs that happened. The economy is down because the genesis from that regime were borrowing to do everything, virtually everything, even to go and wash our faces. We will need to borrow to buy water to wash our faces. The ACF was quiet. We need to be like other regional, forums fora that we have in this country. For instance, if you see the Finai, Tinubu is one of them completely.
Yes.
But Finai oftentimes will come to criticize policies that Tinubu has that they feel is averse or is not in tangent with whatever it is in tandem.
Even during the pre-election, talking about the Finai, their leader came out to say, I do not support this candidate because I don't believe this person is going to deliver.
But you have to know that he's one key member of that forum.
He is.
So your ability to also criticize your own and proffer solution shows objectivity in whatever you're doing. But you are also always talking fair about the North. You don't criticize our leaders who emerge. Buhari was one here. Why didn't you condemn whatever he's doing? And besides, let's do an individual analysis of the constitution of a particular forum. What I'm saying is that most of them have attained leadership positions at one time or another in this country. Have made wealth out of this country. How many of them have companies that are supporting creating factories or companies in the North to employ the youths that are active now?
In the North, yes,
this crisis is brewing because we have not engaged our youths in the North. What are the leaders, the constituent leaders, I mean the elders in the forum? Let them show us their business interests. Where are they? How many people have they employed? How many people have they sponsored to schools? How many people are on their payroll because or probably have taken outside the likes of Congos who took so many students outside the country up to PhD level.
Very true.
We have seen individual leaders do that. The ACF, constituent of the ACF, let them tell us their scorecard. Even while they were in government or out of government, what have they been doing? I am not saying that the ACF does not have a right to speak in support of the North. What I'm saying is that they need to tell us in clear terms. Even if you are thinking, if you had 8 years and you didn't influence anything to bring any succor to the North, you were only borrowing money to share to people, you give people, they wake up, they see a lot,
yeah.
and then they spend it and marry more wives, and then they will give birth to more children, and then we don't farm with it. You don't even care to check what we're doing.
There's no interest as to human development.
Human development.
Nothing like that.
We're not doing that. We're not doing much. We're not creating cottage industries. We're not employing people. They use our idle. And once the handouts are not there, they pick up arms.
True.
Because they have to survive.
True.
And if they can survive legitimately, they will survive legitimately.
And it is a thing of concern to see that the HCF is constituted of intellectuals and people that have been given opportunity by this country in the past.
Individually, yes.
The North is still bedeviled with a lot of ills, insecurity and what have you.
Let's not
despite her potential and all, the North is still struggling the way she's struggling. It's very, very unfortunate.
True.
But again, there's this. I have a concern. You made mention of the fact that the ACF has you support the ACF to support candidates from the North. That is what they stand for.
That's what they're ACF.
Do you think the ACF would, over time have been very what's the word for it now? Have been very decisive and careful as to who they project for political office, especially for the office of the president?
True, you are very right. That's what I was telling you. I said the ACF, where are its roots? Who is represent? For instance, I am from Plateau State. Who is my representative in the ACF from Plateau? What does he bring back? Does he cascade whatever decisions that are made there, or policy statements that are made like this? I mean, statements they make like this. Who cascades them here? Who comes back to brief us, to tell us, well, as a branch of ACF, this is what ACF is thinking? Who? As I'm talking to you now, the last time I knew was when Jeremiah Husseini was there and was the leader. And then we asked the questions again. How often has he been able to brief Plateau people about what is happening in the ACF? When you have an organization that does not have roots and branches, then there's a problem. You are only talking as a group of people who go out there to sit and take your coffee and make statements. What do you bring? What do we gain? What do you bring back to us? How do you pick inputs here, up there, from bottom up? How do you cascade from up there down here? Unfortunately, we haven't seen that play out in the ACF for a very long time. Where is the youth branch of the ACF? Where, in fact, how are decisions arrived at? Are there consultations? Do we pick inputs? Are there referendum or referendum? These are questions that begs for answer. And of course, if they're saying this, if 5 candidates comes out in the North, I have never seen the ACF coming out, for instance, in 2023 election. The ACF was in a better position to say, well, here is an Atiku, here is a Kwankwaso, and many more other Northerners who were contesting against one man who came from the South. And then the ACF should have at that time told us that, well, between Kwankwaso and Atiku, we are going to adopt one person so that it shows the strength of the North. They've not been able to negotiate even at the level of choosing candidates. So how can they affect who becomes the president of the country at the rate we are going, at the level we are going? So what I'm saying is that where they have their right to say whatever they are saying, but what we want them to do is to do much more than that, beyond speaking. Let them act so that we can see them projecting a candidate, and people have started already. Some people know the candidate they are going to work for in 2027. They are now talking about supporting a candidate. Who is that candidate? How are you preparing him? How are you fortifying him? Let us see them saying, well, we are pointing our fingers at this because of A, B, C, D, in terms of what he has done in the past, what we think he can do, so that we can begin to prepare to have a direction.
Yeah, like what are the
you are
things
making
you
blanket
before you make a
statements
choice
in 2027. Who have told them that somebody is trying to contest in the North in 2027? By the way. It's just in the rumor mill. People are just making, insinuating that so person will contest, so person will. But nobody has come out because the ban on has not been lifted. So nobody has come out. So if they are saying that, what I'm saying is that they should be able to speak. Why don't the ACF seek seek for a forum with the president of Nigeria, there is somebody. They can go there and meet him and tell him about certain things he's not doing right for the North. We can negotiate. This is democracy. You have the right to speak. Look for the president. Tell him the interests of the North and tell him, given conditions, if you don't do A, B, C, D for the North, we are not going to support you. We will bring out our candidates. You don't sit down in Kaduna in your headquarters and then you just say in 2027 we'll bring out or support the Northern candidate. What if nobody comes from the North to aspire?
I think for them to say something about supporting a candidate from the North, there's a possibility amongst them.
They've always said so. They've never presented a candidate to us. They've never given us a choice. They've never made a choice and presented to us in the North. I've not seen it.
Okay, with all that being said, I have another interest on the newspaper today. The Guardian newspaper has something to say. It says, bills on diaspora voting, mineral exploration fund and skills second reading. I have interest on diaspora voting.
Yeah.
You know, it has been a discussion over a long period of time that Nigerians in diaspora should be given the chance to vote. What do you think about it? Do you think it's a welcoming idea, or you feel it is not something that should be considered?
Well, even if it's considered, the feasibility of it is going to be the problem. Like we said, if you remember the discussions on Monday, considering Obasanjo's issue about INEC chairman firing who or not firing who, I said on that day, I told you, I said, you know, the moment we transit to electronic voting fully, we will be able to have people vote from anywhere around the world. The US and other democracies are doing it because they have opened the space. We're talking about here that there has to be a polling unit, and that in that polling unit you have to shut down activity. And in that polling unit, people will have to come and queue. And in that particular polling unit, people will be accredited, then vote, then counted, then the information routed on IREF. A whole lot of process that shuts the country completely for 24 hours. It run down businesses, billions of naira are lost because we're staying at home to vote. Why are we making voting so expensive? And then we expend several hundreds of billions of naira to run the electoral process. When easily, sir, we have NIN, we have other means of identification, we have done all of this before. We have BVN, we have everything. We can sit in the comfort of our rooms and vote if we adopt technology fully. Now we are talking about the diasporas. It means we'll send a coalition officer from Nigeria, from INEC here to be trained here, to send him to the UK to go and collate results.
How many countries
and
are
then
we
there
going
will be a polling vote.
Officers?
Then there will be, we will now have to delineate places in Canada, in UK, in US, where Nigerians are, and all over the world. And then we'll also send supervisors, we'll send ballot papers to leave them from Nigeria to go there. Or whatever way we do it, we still move hard materials to go and ballots to go and give people to vote, to thumbprint.
Yeah.
Then there will be, people with what do you call this machine?
Yeah, the beavers.
The beavers.
Yeah.
They will have to send beavers there for them to do this thing and tally them, and then still convey the result back to Nigeria to go and give INEC.
That's
because the
analog process makes it very, very impossible to achieve.
Talking about,
say for instance, we're going to allow for this diaspora voting in just 2 countries. Let me cite an example.
Yes.
Say the US and Canada.
For instance.
The US has 50 states.
Yes.
And Nigerians are resident in all the 50 states. So we're going to sell 50 people to different 50 states. Even in the 50 states, we have counties and we have different regions in the states. So how do we then achieve all this? Except if we are looking at adopting something sophisticated kind of technology.
Then we're going against, the Electoral Act or whatever that may be.
That maybe there's going to be a total change of everything.
So you are the same body operating in 2 ways, allowing others to deploy technology and deny us of deploying it.
It is possible in Nigeria. It is possible in Nigeria if the constitution of Nigeria is going to have a dual ideology, where one part of the constitution is preaching what is wrong in the north is somehow right in the south, looking at the fact that the Sharia law works in the north and it is not working in the south. then it is still possible that Nigerians will do this. You know, there's somebody once told me something here, said the only thing that cannot happen in Nigeria is turning a male into a female. So almost everything is possible here.
Well, the truth about it is that we can't, why don't we just then adopt technology fully? Why don't we?
That's an
why don't
option.
we?
But are we ready to do that?
We are. So the money the money INEC takes to organize election every after 4 years, and other elections in the middle, other election whether by or states that are tarrying behind, like we had in Ondo on Saturday, the money INEC budgets to do that can clearly be used to deploy technology to do this.
You know,
tell me a village in Nigeria that there's no phone, the average small phone, this touchlight
in
phone. In
2023, the budget for the election,
yes,
we all expected something different is going to come completely.
Exactly.
When they spoke about the beavers and all, we thought it was going to be a smooth ride, seamless process.
That's right.
But we got something different. And if you look at the humongous amount that was budgeted, we would have achieved what we were expecting and even more, but we did not get that.
We didn't.
And the reason why I ask you the question as to whether we are prepared already, it's not. I'm not looking at the financial aspect or the preparedness, but the political will to do so. Because if we are going to do so, it means the election cannot be marred by anomalies.
That's right.
And so the top elites that would have interest, will they be comfortable enough to let this ride?
That's the problem. So why would they be comfortable about those in the diaspora? We have seen a lot of, when protest starts or whatever happens in this country, it starts from outside. People begin to protest certain policies in this country. The environment is not flourishing for you to even express yourself here, so they do that. Who told them that if they allow the diasporans to vote, they were going to vote their interest? It means they might probably work against their interest. What we're saying is that what is good for the goose should be good for the gander. If you are deploying it, if you are working on this bill, let it be holistic enough so that we can adopt technology and then everybody from every part of the world can vote without hitches. This is simply it. Look, some people must make sacrifices. Our parents did this. Some of them paid the supreme price so that Nigeria can be what it is today. If you are going to miss an election for 4 years or 8 years or thereabout, and then your succeeding generations will have it, seamlessly well, and we'll get it well, we'll get it right. There's nothing wrong making sacrifices. So I think as a country we need to move beyond that. Smaller African countries are thinking of deploying technology. They are way advanced ahead of us in terms of elections and electioneering. We should be able to move from where we are. Setting the obstacles we deliberately create, so that we can, win. Each time you raise a voice, go to court. Once you lose an election,
even in recent time, even the president himself
go to court.
Go to court.
Yes. So they are aware there's a court, and they are aware there's a process. So that's Nigeria.
About this. You're tilting me in a different direction, but then I'm just going to ask this question.
That's right.
The president saying, just the recent concluded election, that statement by the president, go to court. I see it as a semantic. The reason why I say so is, in Nigeria we have a system that permits the president to be as like a demigod.
Of course.
Like a demigod in the sense that if you look at the executive lists, what the president wields, the power he wields, is not something you can undermine.
Of course, the power of life and death.
Yes, more like he has the power of life and death.
People say that Nigeria's president is the most powerful president in the world. Because of the latitude.
Yes.
He can do anything and
he can do anything and go away with it. Now the president saying go to court. Is a statement I see as an individual that should not be made by one who is of that class. Well, considering the fact that we have intellectuals in Nigeria that know that if the president has an interest as to a certain state or political position, even if it is an elected position, saying go to court would leave people asking questions. We know that the Attorney General is appointed, the Chief Justice is appointed by the President, and therefore means justice can be swayed in certain directions for certain interests.
Even for body language.
For body language, yes. So the President coming out to say go to court, is it a statement that you think a President should make?
Well, don't forget that part of what influenced Obasanjo's, I think, influenced Obasanjo's comment when he had that Yale talk is when he spoke about state capture. You know, Nigerians sometimes, I said, on Monday, I said, you can take the message even if you don't like the messenger. Obasanjo, he has his own flaws and blah, blah, blah. But the message he made, he talked about state capture. State capture is a very dangerous road to take in any country. And if you look at what is happening in Nigeria, it's like whatever we want, we can get, no matter what. Of course, I give it to Ayeda Tiwa winning the election landslide. I predicted it. I saw it coming because there was no opposition. The opposition was very weak in Undo. But the truth about the matter is that there seems to be an element of state capture in this country. States are declared, elections are declared. There are a lot of tradings that are done. Don't forget the debacle between PLATEAU and Nasarawa thing. There were a lot of horse trading, political horse trading, you know, which one do you prefer that I give you, which one do I take between Nasarawa and PLATEAU. That thing happened, is not a secret. It was not a secret thing done. It was clear. Everybody, most people who are conscious and Nigerians who are willing to know about Nigerian. But what we are seeing is that the president can advise people against their conduct. You can say, well, pursue legitimate ways to, you know, reclaim your mandate if you failed you won, and not categorically coming out to tell people go to court. That statement is a little bit, you know, not too good of a president, a sitting president who is a father of everybody. Your children went to, had a small fight, now you are supposed to come and resolve. Just say, well, I'm sorry, but if you know, you can pursue legitimate means to do that. Avoid rancor, avoid crises, avoid rioting, avoid inciting your own people, you know, to take the laws into their hands. But please follow legitimate ways and reclaim your mandate if you truly want. It will be more suiting. It's the same thing.
Say go to courts bluntly like that.
We have been using that.
Yeah, you know, it sounds undiplomatic.
It's not diplomatic at all. It's not fatherly.
Yes.
It's not fatherly.
There's a way, just the way you just said it now.
You are saying the same thing.
You can seek for a legal means to actually address this issue.
Yes.
There's a way to say it, but
subtly, and the man is happy, and you know, that's diplomacy for you.
Yeah, telling somebody to go to hell
and he looks
in a very nice way that he would look forward to the trip, actually. This morning, I'm just going to take one comment from social media, then we are going to go on a break. This one says from Aminu Abdullahi Shuaibu. Aminu Abdullahi Shuaibu. Good morning, Michael and the girls in the studio. I'm watching you live from Rikos, Yanshanu, Yansementi. Seriously, federal government should put state of emergency on security matters. That is his opinion this morning. If you can still hear us, if you are out there, then it is that time where you start sending in your text messages. And the numbers to send your text messages to is 08163141141. I'm going to call the number again, 08163141141. If you want to call into the program and give your submission and inputs, call 07032313315. 0703-231-3315 is the number to call, so you can give your input and submission. We will be going on a very, very short break, and we will be right back. Stay tuned.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead. How's your taxpayer mansion? How was your...
Are you bored and need some company? Get a TV experience like no other on Unity TV. We are turning up the hits with captivating TV shows, electrifying political programs, music, movies,
It's lonely at the top.
And lots more that will leave you craving. I'm sure you want to know more. Tune in to Unity TV today and let the excitement take over.
Please pay attention. It starts from the foundation. Everybody needs somebody. You turn a blind eye and care nothing less. Say it's just business, all about the money. You are so unbothered as long as they pay. Say it's just business, all about the money. You know they're on a fast lane, but you've got business to run. So you look away the other way. It concerns you. It kill love, it kill dreams. It land people for jail. War against drug abuse.
Get ready to be entertained and inspired by the incredible stories around the globe. Don't miss out on the excitement. Hello at Work is an ultimate TV program that brings to you the interesting stories and daily happenings worldwide. Join us Mondays and Thursdays 10 a.m. as we dive into the daily happenings and stories. Tune in and stay. Say hello to the world as you bring in your ideas, as it is a perfect blend of entertainment and information. Get ready to stay up to date while being entertained.
I was the head boy in my primary school, senior prefect and best graduating student in my secondary school, but drug abuse almost ruined my life.
I was on an average of 2 grams of cocaine per day.
I was taking 8 ampoules of pentazosine daily.
European shisha, cocaine.
I became a user, a dealer and a gangster.
I saw other users drowning. I knew I didn't want to be like them, but I was already trapped.
My family disowned me.
My employment was terminated.
I sold my car, sold my house. I'll go out well-dressed and return shoeless, shirtless in exchange for drugs.
I was seeing things that were not real, and I once stabbed myself because I felt something crawling under my skin.
I contacted NDLEA and started therapy.
I spent 3 months in therapy.
I spent 8 months.
It's easy to relapse, but your mind has to be stronger than the cravings.
Drugs does not love you. You are not the one using drugs. Drugs are the one using you. Say no to drug abuse.
The Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, wishes to draw the attention of the public to the worrisome increase in the activities of illegal financial operators, IFOs, which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The FSRCC and NBC hereby advises the general public to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with unrealistically high investment returns. Make sure to verify the licensing status of such companies and schemes on this website. To report any suspicions of illicit financial activities, call 0700 225 5226, 0800 225 5226, or +234 817 665 6273. Let's work together to uphold the integrity of Nigeria's financial system. Announcer, FSRCC.
Unity. Unity TV.
Are you bored and need some company? Get a TV experience like no other on Unity TV. We are turning up the hits with captivating TV shows, electrifying political programs, music, movies,
It's lonely at the top.
and lots more that will leave you craving. I'm sure you want to know more. Tune in to Unity TV today and let the excitement take over.
Please pay attention. It starts from the foundation. Everybody needs somebody. You turn a blind eye and care nothing less. Say it's just business, all about the money. You are so unbothered as long as they pay. Say it's just business, all about the money. You know they're on a fast lane, but you've got business to run. So you look away the other way.
It concerns you. It kill love, it kill dreams. It land people for jail. War against drug abuse.
Get ready to be entertained and inspired by the incredible stories around the globe. Don't miss out on the excitement. Hello at Work is an ultimate TV program that brings to you the interesting stories and daily happenings worldwide. Join us Mondays and Thursdays, 10 a.m. as we dive into the daily happenings and stories. Tune in and stay. Say hello to the world as you bring in your ideas, as it is a perfect blend of entertainment and information. Get ready to stay up to date while being entertained.
I was the head boy in my primary school, senior prefect and best graduating student in my secondary school, but drug abuse almost ruined my life.
I was on an average of 2 grams of cocaine per day.
I was taking 8 ampoules of pentazosine daily.
European shisha, cocaine.
I became a user, a dealer, and a gangster.
I saw other users drowning. I knew I didn't want to be like them, but I was already trapped.
My family disowned me.
My employment was terminated.
I sold my car, sold my house. I'll go out well-dressed and return shoeless, shirtless in exchange for drugs.
I was saying things that were not real, and I once stabbed myself because I felt something crawling under my skin.
I contacted NDLEA and started therapy.
I spent 3 months in therapy.
I spent 8 months.
It's easy to relapse, but your mind has to be stronger than the cravings.
Drugs does not love you. You are not the one using drugs. Drugs are the one using you. Say no to drug abuse.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again.
You're welcome back from that very short break. If you can still hear my voice, it means you're still tuned rightly into the frequency meter of Unity 93.3 FM and TV. And it is still at your most anticipated political and socio-economic program on the radio, the Unity Train. I still remain my humble self, Michael Pedro, the anchor of this program. Before we went on that very short break, we were having an in-depth conversation as to certain issues that concerns our politics here in Nigeria. And as you know, this segment, the third segment of this program, is that segment I usually call your segment. The segment you can call in and give your input as to the current issues on ground that we have discussed in the House, and whatever issues that you have bedeviling you and your community that you feel you want to put your voice out there to the appropriate authority to hear you and come to your aid. This is the time for you to actually call and give your input and send in your text messages. The number to send your message to is 08163141141, and if you want to call, you can call 07032313315, 07032313315. In the house this morning, I have a guest with me from the Red Cross. He has one or two he would want to put out there for the interest of the people of Nigeria, Jos and Plateau State this morning. And I have with me Mr. Halilu. Mr. Halilu, you're welcome to the house this morning. Sorry?
Khalil Ibrahim Shiga.
Yeah, Mr. Khalil Ibrahim Shiga is in the house. You would want to say good morning to the people?
Okay, good morning everyone. My name is Khalil Ibrahim Shiga from Nigeria Red Cross Society. I am the civil and vocal person of Nigeria Red Cross Society Plateau State Branch.
Okay, you're welcome to the program, the Unity Train. And so what do you have for the listeners this morning?
Well, what I have is not much. It's about the outbreak we are having now in Plateau State, outbreak of Mpox.
Mpox, yes, it has become contending issues in recent time. A lot of people are very scared of this very disease, and I know they would want to know more about this very disease and what it is in real times. So you can shed light into whatever message you have for us this morning.
Well, the Mpox is the viral disease that can communicate
Okay, it is transmittable.
Yes, it's transmittable disease.
Okay. So how do you get contacted? How do you get? What is the
sign and symptoms?
The sign and symptoms of this very disease? How do you know you have this disease?
The sign and symptom, there is fever, and then there is rashes.
Okay.
Rashes, fever, headache, and high body temperature.
Okay. Rashes, fever, headache, and high body temperature.
Yes, that is sign and symptom of the mpox.
And those are the early symptoms of it.
Yes.
Can you feel these symptoms before you get these rashes, or the rashes comes before the symptoms?
They are coming together. The rashes coming together with the
symptoms, other symptoms.
Fever.
Okay.
Yes. If they see any sign of the rashes, make sure you go to their nearest health facility. Go to the nearest health facility, because the mpox is very, very communicable disease.
So how do you transfer it from one person to the other? Just by body contact?
By body contact, by body fluid. If you have
by body fluid, you mean sweat, saliva, tears? Okay.
And then direct contact,
urine and the likes.
Urine, and then having maybe sexual
intercourse.
Okay. Affected casualty.
Okay. So how dangerous is this disease in your opinion?
Well, the disease is very communicable now, and then in Plateau State, I think we have over 5 local government that we have confirmed cases from that local government. Just not Mangu, Bokos, Shandam, and is it Kanki, I think.
Wow, already in 5 local governments.
Yes.
That means we need to be very, very careful.
Yes, in that 5 local government, Nigeria Red Cross, we have our volunteers now doing the RCC, community engagement and awareness about the mpox.
Okay.
And they are following how door to door and make an awareness, enlighten the people, the sign and symptom, and then what step they have to take if they see any sign and symptom of this mpox.
Okay. Does it have like a vaccine?
Yes, there is a vaccine, but up to now, I think the government have not made
provision for it
yet. But there is a vaccine for the mpox.
Okay, but right now we cannot have access to it because we don't have it.
They are making arrangement for the vaccination now.
Okay. Is it a life-threatening disease? Can it kill?
Yes, it can kill. It can kill.
Okay. Okay. So, but then, is it possible to actually, because you spoke about one of the ways that one can get this mpox is through intercourse and all. So, is it possible for one to have this mpox but without the rashes? Because if it's with the rashes, then it's easy to identify one that has it. But if it's also possible to have the mpox without the rashes, then it is difficult for one to actually know a person that has it.
There's
always rashes.
Yes, always is there.
Is it very small or it is visible to the eyes?
Starting very small and then
they get bigger.
Yes, they become bigger.
Okay, how do I identify or differentiate between the mpox rashes and the normal rashes?
The mpox rashes, they are big. They are big rashes.
Do they have any color?
They are red in color.
Okay, they are red in color. All right. So, listeners, you heard this morning from the guest in the house. He is from Nigerian Red Cross here in the city of Jos. On this very program. For your interest, he has said a lot about the mpox. While you go about doing your business this morning and every other morning, before the vaccine gets, before we can have access to the vaccine, be careful how you make body contact and how you get to communicate with people outside there. This is not to say you stigmatize people you see with this virus. No, we are saying you can help them. Since you have the information, they might not have it. Help them, direct them to the right health facility where they can get help for that very disease. It is curable, right? It is curable.
Yes, it's curable.
So it is curable. It is not a death sentence. Once you see somebody or you see anybody showing that signs and symptoms that you have heard from the guest in the house this morning, please, it is your duty as a Nigerian to help a brother, a sister, a neighbor, or colleague by giving them the orientation you just got this morning from the guest in the house, and then lead them to the place where they are going to get help. That way you're going to help reduce the spread of this disease and help the person gets better. Thank you so much. And I'm going to be opening my lines now, so you can call in and give your input as to the discussion we had this morning. And before that, I have some text messages that I would like to read out. But that is not to say you cannot start calling. You can start calling to give your input this morning as to the issues we have on ground. I know you are so interested and you have a lot to say about what we have discussed this morning, especially as it concerns Nigeria, our dear country. This text message says, good morning. Good morning, please. Who are in charge of distribution SMC should pay workers their demand on time because they finish since. Umar Alhaji from Gangare. Umar Alhaji is saying the SMC should pay workers their demand on time because they have finished their job since. So if the authorities are listening to this program, the people are calling that you pay them their wages. They have worked and they deserve to be paid. So please, let's do the needful. Even the Holy Book will say a worker deserves his wages. So if you are in position to make this payment, please do well to do so in time, because the job has been done and payment should not be delayed. This text message is saying, sorry, you are most welcome, Mike, and analyst for the day, Ghana. The Lakurawas are warning other terrorists to stay clear with regards ACF. Now we are having the ADL, Arewa, the Democratic League, coming up. How serious was ACF when people like Awoni Yoruba was once in charge? It was confusion amongst them. Ghana, you are on course. M. Lawal from Sabompegi. That was from M. Lawal from Sabompegi. From the Red Cross again, I still have one person in the house that you will be hearing his voice very, very soon. He would want to say hi to you. Good morning, sir. You're welcome to the house.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Your name, please, sir. The listeners would like to know who you are and your portfolio with the Red Cross.
Thank you very much. I am by name Ibrahim Lawan. I'm from Zagalio, and I am the Assistant Healthcare Officer with the Nigerian Red Cross Society, Plateau State Branch. Thank you.
Okay. So, sir, in 3 minutes, I would want you to give... he has said a lot about the mpox disease and the outbreak. He said we have had it, we are currently having it in 5 local governments here on the Plateau, cases in 5 local governments on the Plateau. Can you just lend your voice as to 1 or 2 things about the mpox before we start picking calls?
Okay, thank you very much.
More like a general overview, what the disease is about and all.
Yeah. So as we all know, mpox is a viral zoonotic disease that affect human beings. So we contract it from animal to human, from animal to animal. So it's a communicable disease, actually.
Oh, you can contact it from animals too?
Yes, exactly.
Oh, wow. Yeah. What animal precisely?
So as the name implies, mpox, there is monkey and other wild animals that are the reservoir of the infection.
Okay.
So through these animals, if they are infected, you have the possibility of contracting the disease if you are in contact with those infected animals.
Now, did you contact the disease from this animal just by touching them or by consuming their meat?
Yeah, exactly. There is contact which is directly or indirectly. That is, when you have a contact with the animals, and even consuming the meat, if the meat is not thoroughly cooked, there is a tendency of you to contract the illness. Yeah.
So, which animal is more? Can one contact this disease easily from more?
Okay,
because mpox sounds to me like monkeypox, right?
Yes.
Or is it something else?
Yeah, it's monkeypox.
Okay.
So actually research is ongoing. There are lots of wild animals, but the most popular is monkey and other wild animals, you understand? So we are calling it mpox just to prevent stigmatization. When we say monkeypox directly, if someone has the signs and symptoms, he'll be thinking, why are you referring me to something like monkey? So we just term it as mpox.
Yeah. Mpox, okay. Yeah. Thank you so much for that beautiful input you've given. Before you came in, Your colleague here has made justice, said a lot about the impulse and all. So I have my first call in the house. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, Sadiq Omar, you have the floor. 1 minute, please. Thank you.
Very, very good.
Thank you,
and
sir.
when we look at what is happening in our politics during election, it's something that is very, very especially since commence of APC. That's where we get that mantra of going to court. Let's meet at the court. Because when we look at this administration, they have been using to frustrate the judicial arm of government in various elections that have happened. You see that most of the elections, the people will vote their candidates democratically. But at the end, you see that it's the judges that will make the decision of who wins the election. It is an unfortunate issue. That's why we are not getting a credible leader. Let's look at example of what happened in Plateau. Most of our house members now are not what we did before. They are not vibrant the way we did before. Most of the people are from their constituency. They cannot access these people. And when you meet these people now, they will say that it's not the people that vote for them. It's God that gives them. You see, that's because that they are frustrating the democratic system of the government. So, if who was the president or the House of Assembly, they should make sure that there is a rule of law in our let there be check and balance. Let there not be a just out of our assembly and the president is just making decisions that is not good for the people. And also our judicial government, they should stand, they should get a freedom, they should get autonomy so that they can make decisions. Let there not be an appointment from the executive to lead the judiciary. Let them get the way of the hierarchy, how they come on board so that it takes the right. But as long as executive are the one choosing the judiciary, will not get it right.
Thank you so much. If you understand what the caller is saying, he is saying there should be a true judiciary that is independent of any influence. A judiciary that is truly independent is what he's calling for. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
Bashir calling from Jos.
Bashir Donkoli, you're welcome to the house. Please, 1 minute.
Yes,
thank you.
I appreciate your guests. We appreciate the enlightenment that they give it to us. But are they aware of the cholera outbreak in the town? Whereby you find that the private hospitals, patients are going to private hospitals. We are going to talk about the primary health that we have. Our representatives, they need to bring medicine for a common people to benefit from the benefit of the democracy. One. The second, we are talking about that politicians are thinking about they will use money in 2027. So people are getting more enlightenment about all these things. If they bring the money, people will take and they will vote for their choice. Thank you very much. This is my own.
Thank you, Bashir. One time Donkoli. Bashir Donkoli has a question to ask you. If you know about the cholera outbreak, I think we're going to create a special section so you can come and give input as to the cholera outbreak. Good morning. Good morning, sir.
Thank you. Musa Aike Kalu calling you.
Musa Aike Kalu, you're welcome. Please, 1 minute.
You see, I want to talk about the comments about the ACF. My question to them is that the founding fathers that they used to gather every year in that ACF house in Kaduna to celebrate, the way they are treating the Northerners, is that the way they treated them? They should not forget that they gave them education. They never left them with plates and for them to be begging. Tell me any of them that are agitating for the North today that their children are there with plates begging on the street. They should come in time with reality. They're not 19 northern state governors to make it as the possible urgency to ban to breaking and this issue of Almajiri. If they don't give them education, you are training future beggars. These are little kids. You keep them with plates. You say they know nothing rather than begging. Tomorrow, if they grow up, they continue from where you taught them. Whether they like it or not, Uncle be, let me tell you. What you are saying today, you see how 3 leaders saying that it's my turn before my turn. The electoral system is all fine. Not that Nigerians doesn't know what they want. If the electoral system is fine, it is the whole issue of Tony and it's my turn or it's not my turn. When all of them realize that my vote and your vote will be the utmost, I don't will disappear within a couple of times.
Very true, sir.
Thank you, my Lord.
Thank you. God bless you for that very beautiful input. You have made a very valid point as to the effects of the ACF in the north. If the ACF are doing well, we should feel their impact in the north. He spoke about Almajiris. To be empowered, not giving them plates to go outside there to beg for food when we have organizations that claims or says they are for the Ariwas and the interests of the Ariwas. Good morning.
Thank you very much. This is Adewumi calling from Bokoro.
Adewumi, your voice no go lost. Good morning, sir. Please, 1 minute.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I want to greet your guests in the studio. So thank you for always educating us.
Thank you, sir.
I think this should be also good to hear areas where they don't even have access, in order to have more awareness on this young people. And on the other hand, how beautiful we need to Mr. Petro to see people in the diaspora voting. Well, in the aspect our system is not working. Imagine the 2023 elections where I met today, even said it was that was even the major cause why they were not able to transmit election results. All of this today is a lot needs to be done because we are a developing nation, in as much as we want to be a developed nation. Then we must do the right thing. And on the other hand, I think politicians must understand it, accept the outcome of election. You see, the major concept of democracy is just accepting the result of election results. In as much as our leaders can do this, then go the longer way. I just let me end by saying, Goodluck Jonathan was a good Democrat. Irrespective of whatever, he said the God of any Nigeria is not what the presidential ambition. So politicians, if they should allow our political system to work, then we always get it right in this nation. Thank you, and God continue to bless you for your video.
Thank you so much for that input, that beautiful input you just gave out there. It is a very, very beautiful input. Notable out of what he said is taking this very orientation to rural areas is super important. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Your name and where you're calling from, sir? Good morning.
This is Obitex from Suringada.
Okay, Obitex, good morning. You have 1 minute, please.
My own is a kind of question.
Okay.
Can people just explain to us why police at Suringada roundabout always embarrass to get people by collecting money from them? Every blessed day. If you don't give them, they will send you across the road there, and you'll be there until they, whenever they feel like releasing you, they will release you simply because you didn't give them anything.
Is this done?
When I told them that I'm coming down from meeting, and they still have to detain me there until whenever they have the time. Please, can people help us? Meeting is getting out of hand every blessed day. But I say, we be aware of what I'm saying because he's the member of Suringada. He should please help us talk to the police authority about this thing. It's getting out of hand, though. They are forcing people. Everybody's hungry. Everybody's hungry.
Thank you so much for that information.
If government say that we should not be moving in the night, most especially anytime from 6:30. Anytime from 6:30, you see them, they block the boat road and collecting money from people. I mean, men are help us.
No problem, sir. I believe the appropriate authority.
I didn't give him anything.
The appropriate authority are listening to this very complaint right now.
And this is the people I carry. All of us is from meeting. And yet you still have to detain me. Please, the police authority should know.
Sorry, sir. Was this done after 7 o'clock?
For your analysis, your analysis, they try. And I want to use this opportunity to please break the governor, our able governor. Listening here, our road, our Wanjarawa road, is getting out of hand. He should just please help us.
All right. Thank you. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you too. This one says, good morning, Mr. Pedro and Mr. Gospel Ghana. Please, sir, if we have the Ariwa Consultative Forum and Northern Elders Forum, even Northern Youth Forum, all this while are silent, please, what is their common goal? They should talk about the federal character, not on position or power. Thank you. That's Ismail from Jos. Ismail from Jos is saying they should the Arewa Consultative Forum should pay more attention to federal character, not political interest. This one says, good morning, Mr. Mike Pedro and the guest. Nigerian democracy is in reverse. Is in the reverse direction. How I wish our political leaders govern this country as to why they were elected. But reverse is the case. Do your politicians have vision and patriotism? Do they have this country at heart? The wahala Nigerians are passing through is explicable. We are yet to see the dividend of democracy. My regards to Kulbi Barrister and the Prof. Emilongs from Agingi. Emilongs, thank you for that beautiful insight. And Kulbi is listening, and I know he's saying good morning too, because we spoke about you not too long ago. Good morning, Mr. Mike Pedro and my chairman, Mr. Ghana, in the studio. Kudos, sir, for the wonderful analysis. The government should stop all the talk and walk the talk. And walk the talk by giving these Lukarawas a bloody nose. The Nigerian army are up to the task. They should do the needful in order not to worsen the insecurity that's already on ground. Peace is priceless. Let's live in peace. Good morning, Unity FM, Plateau State of Nigeria. Christy Izang from Rukuba Road. Thank you, Christy Izang. I've not heard from you for a while now. I hope you're okay. I didn't get your text message yesterday and day before yesterday, and I was wondering if I would put a call across to you, but thank you for this text message this morning. It shows you're fine. Good morning to you all. May every prayer you pray bring a cure, healing to your heart, your health, light to your eyes, peace to your heart, and peace to our home. Health is paramount. Government should handle mpox disease very seriously. Let them take strict measures like COVID-19. Don't panic. Do the right thing. Hassan Garba from Jos. So I was saying we are going to have a special section where we are going to have an in-depth conversation as to this mpox and the outbreak of the cholera that somebody just mentioned. There's an outbreak of cholera, right? Yes. All right. So we're going to have a special section. I don't know. We'll agree this and then we'll come back and then have this conversation. Maybe tomorrow or next tomorrow if you're disposed. But for now we are out of time. You can just say your last words to the people before we sign out.
Okay, thank you very much. First of all, let me sincerely apologize for my late coming. There is a lot of information we need to share with you. But as you said, we have an arrangement to come and discuss more on mpox and cholera. But the most important thing to public to know is that all this saying outbreak is government responsibility to declare any disease outbreak. Yeah. So we, as the Red Crosses, we are auxiliary to the federal government of Nigeria in terms of disaster humanitarian activities. You understand? We always say there is cases of vomiting and diarrhea. So actually, our meeting with the EOC department, they have told us vividly that actually there is confirmed cases of cholera, and part of our activity is risk communication and community engagement. We'll always tell people what to do to protect themselves from contracting these diseases, to break the chain of the disease transmission, to maintain a very good personal hygiene, which is very important in containing 75% of all these communicable diseases. And cholera is more deadly, and it transmits so rapidly more than even other diseases.
All right, so we are going to have an in-depth conversation as to this very outbreak come tomorrow or next, based on how we agree. We will be right here tomorrow, same time, same station. Stay tuned. And as you go about your business today, I pray that all that your heart desires be laid in your path. God bless you and do have a wonderful day. Bye.
Yeah.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead. How's your taxpayer mansion?